I helped my best friend through a breakup, then discovered he caused mine. Growing up in the quiet suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia, where summer nights hummed with cicadas and the air smelled like fresh cut grass and barbecue from somebody's backyard, Tyler and I had been inseparable since middle school. We played varsity baseball together at North Gwinnett High, double dated to prom in his dad's old Mustang, and even ended up at the University of Georgia in Athens, sharing a rundown off-campus house on Millage Avenue with healing paint and a porch that creaked like it knew all our secrets. After graduation, we both landed jobs in Midtown Atlanta. He sold commercial real estate, always closing deals with that easy southern charm, and I worked as a project manager for a tech firm, the steady one who kept things organized while he chased the thrill. When I met Sarah at a rooftop bar on Peachtree Street during one of those sticky July evenings with the skyline glittering and live music spilling from everywhere, it felt like fate. She was a nurse at Emory, funny and kind, with that soft Georgia drawl that made everything sound like home. And within a year, we were living together in a little loft in Inman Park, planning weekend hikes up Blood Mountain and talking about rings. Tyler was the first person I told when I knew she was the one, and he slapped me on the back, grinning wide, saying he'd be my best man, no problem. Life felt perfect until last spring, when Tyler showed up at my door one rainy Thursday night, soaked from the downpour and eyes red like he'd been crying for hours. He said his girlfriend of 3 years, Lauren, had just dumped him out of nowhere, packed her stuff while he was at work, left a note saying she needed space. I let him crash on my couch, brought him beers from our favorite spot in Ponce City Market, stayed up till dawn listening to him vent about how blindsided he felt, how he'd been planning to propose, how he didn't see it coming at all. For weeks I was his rock, dragged him to Braves games at Truist Park to get his mind off things, introduced him to new people at bar crawls in Virginia Highland, even covered for him at work when he couldn't focus. Sarah was amazing through it all, cooking his favorite shrimp and grits, telling him he'd find someone better, but I noticed little things. How she'd get quiet when Tyler's name came up, how her phone buzzed more than usual, how she started working late shifts she never used to take. I chalked it up to stress, to her being empathetic because that's who she was. Then one Saturday morning in August, while Sarah was supposedly at a yoga class in Decatur and Tyler was out looking at condos, I decided to surprise her with brunch fixings from the farmer's market. Mimosas, fresh peaches, the works. As I rummaged through our closet for her favorite apron, my hand brushed something tucked away in the back. Tyler's old UGA hoodie, the red one he'd worn since freshman year, faded and soft, the one he swore he'd lost months ago. My heart slammed against my ribs as I pulled it out and saw, tangled in the sleeve, a long strand of Sarah's auburn hair. Pieces crashed together like a wreck on I-85. The late nights, the hushed phone calls, the way Tyler suddenly felt better around the time Sarah grew distant. I sat on the edge of our bed, hoodie in my lap, feeling the world tilt. When they both came home separately that afternoon, acting normal, laughing about traffic, I confronted them in our living room with the peach pie still cooling on the counter. The truth spilled out in ugly fragments. Tyler hadn't been dumped. He'd ended things with Lauren because he'd been sleeping with Sarah for months, starting right around the time he cried on my couch. They swore it just happened, that they never meant to hurt me, but the betrayal cut deeper than anything I'd ever felt. I kicked them both out that day, changed the locks on our loft, and spent the next weeks driving aimlessly along the Beltline at night, wondering how the person I carried through heartbreak had been the one shattering mine. Now, months later, I'm rebuilding in a new place in Buckhead, catching Falcons games alone, learning that loyalty isn't always returned in kind, even from the brother you chose. Some nights, I still smell that hoodie in my nightmares. A reminder that the people closest to you can wound you the deepest, right here in the heart of the South where trust is supposed to mean everything.